Hey all, Cohen here. So I figured I would do a bunch of smaller clips that I'm going to put into one video. So this video is going to be a bunch of clips for my recovery time period, just for the next couple days. So right now I am officially 24 hours post-op and not feeling too bad actually. So I guess I'll just go over briefly what happened yesterday. So I went to the hospital, got there at 6 o'clock. So I'd gotten up in the morning at 4, showered with the special sponge that I was supposed to use. My dad picked me up at quarter to 5, and then we left and we went out to Kitchener to the Grand River Hospital. Checked in there, waited about an hour and a bit, and then they came in and they put my IV in. They explained the surgery to me, asked me all these personal questions that they have to ask you before you go into surgery so they know that like you're fully aware of what's going on. And then I was taken to another waiting room in the OR where I waited for about 15 minutes and then a nurse came and got me, explained what was going to go on again, asked me a couple questions again, and then I was walked into the OR room and I was helped up on the table and everybody introduced themselves, who was the team that was going to be doing the surgery. Dr. Oliver came over to talk to me, asked me the same questions. I usually ask you the same questions about 3 or 4 times, just because there's always different people around, so everybody has to make sure they're all on the same page. It was really nice throughout the whole time that I was there. Nobody brought up the fact that I was trans. Everyone treated me like a regular guy, and I just happened to be going in for a hysterectomy. It was really nice too. Dr. Oliver is very, very sweet. When she came over and was talking to me, she actually like was holding my hand, I guess, to make me feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if anybody's weirded out by that, but she is a very nice lady, and for me, that was quite comforting to know that being trans and going through a surgery that, to be honest, it's embarrassing, it's dysphoric, it's not anything that's by any means enjoyable, but it was really nice and it made me feel at ease. So that was something that I really appreciated, that everybody was really nice like that. So then the anesthesiologist explained what he was doing and told me his name and stuff like that, asked me some questions about myself. So I was probably like awake in the OR room for about 5 to 10 minutes from what I recall. And then they put the gas mask on me, and it took about probably like 20 to 30 seconds for me to fall asleep. But yeah, so I fell asleep, woke back up. I do vaguely remember asking a few questions because for the first hour they take you into the OR recovery room, so you're in there for about an hour. If I'm not mistaken, I asked if I dropped any F bombs. That rings a bell to me. And for some reason, I guess because they put the catheter in, and maybe when I woke up, it was just a weird feeling because I asked them if I had peed myself because I guess I felt like I peed myself, and they told me that no, I did not, and that I had the catheter in, and that was all that that was. So that was pretty funny. Um, After about an hour in there, they took me into the just the day surgery and the pre-surgery area where they have a recovery room. Because I was a day surgery and I was able to go home, they actually had me in a room by myself, which was really cool because then I didn't have to be around a lot of other people and it was more private. So I probably ended up staying in there for about 4 hours. So throughout that time, they came in a bunch of times to check my blood pressure, my temperature, check the incisions, make sure nothing was wrong. And then probably half an hour before I was able to leave, they came in and they changed the band-aids on my incisions and just let me know about everything that I was going to have to do when I got home. They made me drink a lot of liquid. I think I had about 1 cup of ice chips, 1 cup of cranberry and ginger ale mixed together, and I think I had about 7 apple juices. So, yeah, it was just weird because they took the catheter out before they changed my bandages. And I was really worried. It was really quick and it was like a weird sensation, but it wasn't terrible. Now, the only thing about that is you really want to go home, and knowing that you're going to be going home, as soon as a catheter comes out, you can't really go to the bathroom. Like, it's been in there to drain everything, so even though you've drank a lot, like, there isn't going to be much. So I literally had to drink two more glasses of apple juice, and then about 15, 20 minutes after my catheter came out, I was able to pee, and I was able to pee enough because I tried probably like 10 minutes after it came out, and there wasn't, apparently I didn't pee enough, so then I had to pee again, which that time it was. So that's when they came in and changed the band-aids, and then they took out my IV. They let me get changed. They send you home with an extra pad, and they give you underwear to wear for the way home, so you don't have to worry about your underwear getting wrecked if you're worried about that. Um, when you do get out of bed, they because they make you walk to make sure that you can walk as well. I literally maybe walked 10 feet, so out of my room and back into my room pretty much. They just wanted to make sure I was able to be mobile and I wasn't in pain, which it wasn't that bad. Throughout the time at the hospital, my pain level was between a 2.5 and a 3 out of 10. Okay, so as I was saying, at the hospital, I was 2.5 to 3 out of 10 on the pain scale. When I got home, it was about 4 to 5 out of 10 on the pain scale. Um, yeah, so after I was able to walk, after I was able to go to the bathroom, and I had my bandages changed and the IV out and everything, I was able to go home. My ride home was about an hour. It wasn't too bad. I did bring a pillow that has the arms. They're called boyfriend or husband pillows. I used that as well for my top surgery. If you guys remember in my top surgery video, I mentioned it a few times. They're like 15 bucks at Walmart. It's definitely worth it. You can strap yourself into the car in a middle seat or any of the seats, and the arms wrap around kind of, and you feel very secure and you don't feel a lot of bumps or movement in the car on the way home. So that's really helpful. When I got home, I just pretty much watched TV for the evening. I walked around a little bit just to keep moving because they pump you full of air in order to do the surgery. So this air has to escape, and by walking around and moving, it helps it to do that. So you will find that your lower back will hurt, your shoulders will hurt, and your lower abdomen will hurt or feel bloated. So that's to be expected. Um, Pain wasn't too bad last night. I did take my pain meds when I was supposed to, just because I don't want to have a bad reaction. I don't want to feel a lot of pain. Like when I woke up this morning, I felt pretty good, and then after about an hour, the pain meds I took last night kind of stopped working. So took a little bit more this morning. Just some of the hydromorphone. Uh, so we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the day. Everything's been pretty good. Don't feel too much pain. My pain is back down to a 3 now. About half an hour ago, it was around a 5, but I've walked around a bit. I've been up since around 8:30. I did pass out last night at around, I think, 11:30ish, and then I think I woke up at maybe 1 or something, and then I passed out again, and then I woke up at 4, and then my wife and my cousin went to bed, and I was up and about for a little bit, went to bed probably 4, so not sleeping for long periods of time, but I am sleeping, so it works out well. I'm also sleeping on the recliner in my living room just because I don't want to stretch out too much and I don't want to toss and roll in my sleep. I'd just like to kind of stay in one spot and be secure. So with my top surgery, I ended up doing that as well. So last night, I slept on my recliner and it was actually really comfy, really easy to fall asleep. And all last week, I had a really kinked neck right about like here. And I don't know if it's from sleeping or if I pulled something wrong. So that's been something that I've been dealing with as well. It's not too bad now, starting to kind of go away. Maybe it's the pain meds helping that out as well. So, bonus. Um, I guess the only other things that I can say is that like the up until last night, I think, verging on to today, when I did go pee, it was a little bit like it wasn't like burning or anything. It was just like irritating to go pee. Um, Now I've peed a couple times this morning and it seems to be fine, not bothering me. I know that some guys have gotten bladder infections, so knock on wood that I'm free and clear from that. That would not be something enjoyable, and I feel terribly bad for anybody who, pardon me, has had bladder infection after this type of surgery. The bleeding below pretty much was more so at the hospital. When I did get up from my bed, there was a pad underneath that did have a fair amount, so be warned, like I wasn't too put off by it. I expected it. But anybody who thinks that like when you get out of that hospital bed that there's not going to be something on the pad that they put under you, be prepared. Today there really hasn't been much of anything. It's pretty much after I go to the bathroom when I wipe, usually there's like a tiny bit. So I guess it's starting on that spotting stage. I was told that it could bleed a fair amount in the morning when I get up, like because I've been sleeping and stuff, but that didn't happen, so that's awesome. Yeah, my stomach has been fine. I haven't had to go number two, but I did actually the other day after surgery. So about 2 hours after surgery, I did. So I probably won't have to go again for a little bit, especially since like I didn't eat at all yesterday until I came home, and then I ate a lot. Like I had Wendy's. I'm not gonna lie. They said to have crackers and stuff, but I've been through a couple surgeries and I've never had issue, and I'm super glad I did because I was fucking hangry, man. Oh, that's the only thing I could say is you are going to be hungry. You just want to go home and eat the world. And if you don't, then it's like, some people do, some people don't. For me, I wanted to go home and eat the world. Um, One thing that did happen, I think it was to do with motion sickness, though, because I don't fare well being a passenger in cars. It just doesn't sit well. Usually I get a little nauseous. And I think it's in combination with probably all the medication I was on and having the surgery and having an hour-long ride home, and being a passenger in the back seat, I ended up coming home and I did puke, but it wasn't terrible because all I had had in my system was juice and water. So literally, it was just throwing up water, and it wasn't anything terrible. So pretty much like these all sound like disgusting, gross, terrible things, but it could be worse. And I'm very grateful for the surgical team that I had. I was very grateful that the hospital was as great that they were. I had my dad who was great. He picked me up, dropped me off, made sure everything was okay. I had my wife beside me the entire time, pretty much. And my cousin came over to my house to watch my pets because we had been gone for just about 9 hours. So I'm really grateful and I'm feeling pretty good. I'll update everybody on any changes or what goes on for the next couple days and upload a video, have it all done. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Another tidbit of information is that during the surgery, your legs will be raised, so you will end up with thigh pain. So, from where your thighs connect to your torso to about 3/4 of the way down your thigh, you should expect that. Um, Usually, I guess mine started around 9 last night, maybe. So I ended up getting pretty bad thigh pain, but I found that if I rubbed my thighs, massaged them, or if I put a heating pad on, that helped a lot. So because of how your legs are positioned and because the surgery is about an hour, you will get cramping either later that evening or the next day. And it's not terrible, but it's not the most comfortable thing. It just feels like growing pains. But the pain medication also helps out with that. Also, for your lower back, your upper back, you can also use a heating pad, and that helps amazingly. I feel like it moves the air a little bit more through to get it out of your body, and it just relaxes everything a little bit more. So definitely make sure you have a heating pad and make sure that you take your pain medications that they recommend you to do. And if you have any pillows or anything to take to you with you for the car ride home, those are three things that I can definitely recommend that you have. So, yeah, hope that helps out as well.